You are listening to the Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome back. We're here to cut through the clutter and pull out some really pertinent insights from recent tech happenings.
Yeah, think of it like a shortcut. We're digging into some stuff that'll hopefully give you some aha moments you can actually use.
We're covering quite a bit today, boosting dev performance, thinking about careers, even some quirky AI stuff.
Definitely. Surprising facts, practical tips, things that should stick with you.
Okay, let's kick off with something I think everyone feels sometimes. Slow development. Have you ever just stared at your test suite like watching paint dry?
Oh, absolutely. Takes forever.
Exactly. So I heard this story about WAP's Rails setup. They cut their CI time in half. Seems almost unbelievable. How does that even happen? What's usually the culprit?
Well, it's fascinating how they did it. It wasn't one big magic fix. The main win was finding this hidden I/O overhead.
I/O, like writing to disk.
Precisely. They had really verbose SQL logging turned on in their test environment. And these query log tags, they were just generating thousands and thousands of queries written to disk.
Wow, okay. So just logging stuff.
Yeah, that plus disabling sentry logging during tests and cleaning up some, common inefficiencies with how FactoryBot creates test data. Those things combined made a huge difference.
How huge are we talking?
We're talking single test runs going from like 25 minutes down to about 12. And the CI runs from maybe 4 minutes down to just 2.
That's really significant just from tracking down those kinds of bottlenecks.
It really is. It shows you got to look beyond the obvious sometimes. Find those hidden resource hogs. Careful profiling is key.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Let's talk visual performance, games specifically. I keep seeing people argue that using PNGs for game textures is, well, not great. Is that actually true?
Oh, it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And for good reason, PNGs just aren't designed for it.
Right. So what's better?
Well, you've got formats like KTX2 and DDS. They're built specifically for texture data.
And what makes them better, like practically speaking?
They offer things like pre-generated MIP maps, which helps with rendering things at different distances, cube maps for reflections, and crucially, GPU-compatible compression, things like BCN.
GPU-compatible compression, meaning the graphics card doesn't have to unpack it first.
Exactly. The GPU can use the texture data pretty much directly. That means less storage space, way less VRAM used, and just, better performance overall when the game is running.
But standard image editors don't usually handle those, right?
Not usually, no. But there are tools out there, like Zex, that can help you convert your assets. It's an extra step, but often worth it for games.
Makes sense. Okay, let's pivot again. Thinking about careers in tech. There's this idea floating around that just being technically brilliant isn't quite enough anymore to really stand out. What's your take? Is that overstating it?
No, I think that's increasingly accurate. Look, technical skill is table stakes, right?
Yeah.
Gets you in the door. But eventually, lots of people become very technically skilled.
Right. So how do you differentiate?
It comes down to combining that tech skill with other things, like understanding the product side, being able to actually execute on projects, get them over the line, and the people skills, obviously. Communicating, collaborating.
Okay, so it's a broader skill set.
Yeah, it is. But I'd say the most crucial thing is what some call agency. It's about taking initiative. Not just doing your assigned tasks, but seeing what needs to be done, figuring it out, making it happen, improving things continuously, and doing it openly.
So it's less about just coding and more about driving impact.
Precisely. It's moving from being a skilled pair of hands to being someone who really shapes things, drives innovation. That's how you become indispensable, really.
Interesting. Okay, different direction now. AI, large language models, ChatGPT and the like, why do they sometimes just confidently make stuff up, hallucinate? It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's a fascinating problem. OpenAI actually looked into this, and what they found is kind of insightful, if a bit worrying.
Go on.
Well, the way these models are trained and evaluated right now, it sort of accidentally encourages guessing.
How so?
The scoreboards, the metrics used, they tend to reward getting the answer right, even if the model just got lucky guessing. There isn't enough incentive to say, I don't know.
So if it's unsure about some obscure fact, it's better for its score to just take a shot.
Pretty much. Which leads to these situations where it states something completely wrong, but with total confidence. Especially for facts that aren't super common in its training data, it's like it's bluffing its way through a test.
So we need to be careful how we train and score them.
Definitely. And it means for us, using these tools, we really need that trust but verify mindset. We can't just blindly accept what they say, especially on important stuff.
Good point. Okay, one last area, containerization. Lots of people use Docker, obviously, but I hear Podman mentioned as an alternative worth looking at.
Yeah, Podman has some really compelling points. Its architecture is daemonless, meaning
Wow.
there's no single background process managing everything. That's generally better for security, fewer single points of failure. Plus, it lets non-root users manage containers easily, which is a big win for security and operations in many places.
Okay, less reliance on root privileges.
Right, and it integrates really well with Systemed, which
Mm.
is common on Linux, and Kubernetes too. So yeah, for robust, secure container setups, it's definitely an option worth exploring.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground. From tweaking code performance and navigating career paths to understanding why AI sometimes fibs.
It really does circle back to seeking that deeper understanding, doesn't it? Knowledge is great, but it's most powerful when you connect it back, figure out how it applies to what you do.
So, maybe a final thought for everyone listening. How deeply have you actually looked into the basics of the tools and systems you rely on every day? Like the graphics algorithms in a game you play or the architecture choices in the software you build?
Yeah, it makes you think, right? In this world where everything changes so fast, what's the next surprising thing, that hidden detail that you'll uncover in your own work? What's hiding in plain sight?
Spoken Tech for your ears.